Welcome back to Method Cooking. My name is David Kinney. Tonight we're doing fondant potatoes. I like to use russet potatoes, one, because it's always in the pantry, and two, because they're just really versatile when it comes to all the different prep you can do with potatoes. So we're going to cut the potato down into the sections that we want, then we're going to punch through with a biscuit cutter to make the cylinders that we want, and that's what's going to go in the pan. Now that we got the potato down, we're going to cut it to about the height of our biscuit cutter. Lay that flat. So I've got the biscuit cutter and a little bit of Pam. I'm going to spray the inside just really quick over the sink so I don't make a mess. That way when we punch out the potato, it'll slide out nice and easy, and we can get on to making our fondant potatoes. Now that the potatoes have been soaking for about 5 minutes in cold water to pull out some of that starch, we're going to pull it over to the paper towel, pat them dry, and then from there we're ready to go into the pan. You can see the oil rippling, which means the pan is nice and hot and ready. We're at like a medium-high, almost high heat. We'll put one side of the potato down. That's unseasoned because we want that potato to be completely in contact with the pan as it starts to develop that crust underneath. While the bottom side is getting brown, we are going to season the top a little bit with a little bit of salt and then a little bit of pepper. As you see the bottom side of the fondant potatoes start to brown up, we're going to turn the heat down a little bit and add a little bit of butter. That butter is going to add not only flavor, it's also going to help it brown up really nice. A little bit of that fresh cracked black pepper. And almost time for the butter. As it starts to brown, I lower the heat a little bit and I put in some whole butter. And swirl that around just a little bit. Make sure it's nice and evenly coated in the pan and on the potatoes. While the potatoes are kind of searing in the pan, I'll lift the pan back and forth to take all the oil and the butter to the one side. And then I'll go back. So it just kind of leaves the potatoes up next to almost a dry pan, and then again starts to submerge them in that oil-fat mixture. Once the bottom side is nice and brown, we're going to go ahead and flip those over. That way we can get that same brown sear and roast on the bottom side. Now with the bottom side brown, I'm going to add a little bit of garlic and a little bit of dried thyme. It's going to be the aromatics as this cooks in the oven. I'm going to follow behind that. A little bit of chicken broth. You can use chicken broth, beef broth, vegetable broth, a little white wine if you've got some, or even just some water if you don't have any broth on hand. We're going to fill that up almost maybe 1/4 of an inch on the bottom side of the potatoes, and then we're going to drop them into an oven at 350 for about 30-45 minutes so you can pierce the side easily with a small paring knife. It's been about 45, maybe 50 minutes on the potatoes. Checked them with a knife and they are perfectly done. So now that those are done in the pan, grab a pair of tongs and get those on the plate. So the fondant potatoes are done and on the plate along with an M and a C. Method cooking, don't you know? So classically it is done in a cylinder shape, but if you use cookie cutters you could cut out anything you wanted, from a heart for Valentine's Day to your favorite number or even somebody's initials. So thank you again for watching Method Cooking, and I'll see you next time.